Today I'm just going to bring you a video where I'm going to talk about Holy Grail. And for those of you who don't know what Holy Grail is, or a Grail, or the Grail, or whatever, as people sometimes call it, is a bit of a term that I'm stealing from Diablo 2. And I'll just show it here. This is an actual definition I'm stealing from Diablo-2.net. But in Diablo, Holy Grail is considered a bucket list of items one needs to find himself as a collectionist, and is considered one of the greater achievements in Diablo 2. And yeah, this is something that I've actually wanted to try to do for a while. Hear that train? It's something I wanted. It's been on my list of things to do for a while in Grimdon, so I wanted to sort of adopt this idea. And we've had conversations on what it means in Grimdon, because it's really not. It's a little bit less cut and dry, I think. And there's actually a lot of items, but the rule of thumb is collecting every epic and legendary item above level 82. 82 is sort of the cutoff for minimum level items you'll see at level 100. So that's sort of where we're starting. Where I say we, but where I'm starting with this. It's not like a set of rules or anything like that. It's just the guideline I've set currently for myself, and it's a way to challenge myself to collect every item in the game, pretty much. Although there are other items, there are, of course, like level 1 items, like Lokar Set, Miss Gazer, Man Gazer, like the novelty items, we'll call them, leveling items and stuff like that, which will probably find their way onto that list eventually, but for now, 82 plus, blues and purples. That's it. So it's always been a question of how do you do it? How do you keep track of items? How do you collect the items? Where do you put them? All that sort of thing. And there's 2 different ways of doing it, and I decided to do the more punishing way, which is muling, creating alternate characters to mule items, and I can actually show that right now. Do I have Grimdon open? I do. Okay, cool. So this is my account. This is a slightly modified account. I ended up pulling all my hardcore characters, aka my only hardcore character I have alive currently, into its own file. So I'm doing sort of a Grail-only save file. That's why there's no softcore characters here, and I have 2 dead hardcore characters and my battle mage. And then you have all these characters over here that have a Z in front of it, and the reason they have a Z in front of it is so they show up at the bottom of the list. And each one is a mule. It's just a level 1 character that carries items, excuse me. And I have 7 of them. You can pause the video here and see how I organize them. You can probably get away with less than 7 if you're looking to do the muling method like me. Real quick, I'll just show you what's a good one. Probably one-handed weapons and offhands. I'll show you what it looks like. Usually use the Crucible when I'm doing stuff like this, but yeah, this is just what the bank looks like. And basically just going to keep everything kind of organized here. I got blues at the back 2 tabs, and purples in the front 2 tabs. And you can obviously use merits too. This came up during the stream the other day. If you use a merit, you can actually use a merit on this character to unlock the inventory, and you actually don't even have to use this if you don't want to. But it's good to be able to use this to search stuff anyway. But it doesn't hurt either way. It's fine. So that's really it. You just make a level 1 character, unlock some tabs, and just put everything in the shared stash and start filing away and organizing. So that's the manual way of doing it, and that's the way I'm going to roll with it. Now I'll show you how to keep track of it. There's the only way, simple way I know how to keep track of this is to use GD Stash. And GD Stash is, where are we at here? There we go. GD Stash is a third-party modding tool, I guess. It's a way to modify your save file. That's what a lot of people use it for. You can actually use it for a lot of things. You can do a ton of stuff with it. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. But there's something called a collection tab. So I'll leave a link to this below. You can go download it and download now. Actually, let's just do it together. Click to download. There we go. Save. Sure. Save. Just because I already have one in there. Did I do this earlier? Maybe I'm just a boomer. Okay, regardless. Yeah, just download the zip. Download the zip and just like extract it anywhere. I'm just going to let's just put it on my desktop real quick. Toss this guy on the desktop. Stash. GD. Stash. Okay. Let's drag and drop these contents in there real quick. There's not like an installer. It's just an exe. I think it comes with some Java thing too. Once that's done, close that out. So now here's your GD Stash folder. And you just click the exe, and it's probably going to ask you to configure it for the first time. Please configure the program and import the database. So this game will import basically in, I think, decompile. I don't know, I'm not a programmer. All the stuff in the game and bring it into here. So this is the screen you'll start with. At first, you can't use any of these tabs until you get to this point. And you have to find the Grimdon installation directory. So wherever you have it installed, I think mine's on my E drive. I'll go here. It's usually under, what is that, program files? Nope, that's stupid. Steam library. Steam library, Steam apps, common, and you guys can see all the games I play, which aren't many. I don't even play Warframe. I don't even know why it's here. Grimdon. Open. Okay, and then it asks you to point where your save file is. That's why I had these two windows open. There's two save files. If you have Steam Cloud, your save file is going to be here if you're using Steam Cloud, which most people are if you're newer. By default, you'll probably be using Steam Cloud, so you can just fucking take a look at that. Pause it if you want. Zoom in. That's a pretty long one. But if you're playing locally, so if you have Steam Cloud disabled, which is what I'm doing, your save file will be located here, just in users, then the computer name, C users, computer name, documents, my games, Grimdon. Boom. That's a lot easier. And that's the save file. Ignore this other save file. I might talk a little bit about that later, but don't worry about that. So by default, it will default to your local, I believe. And then once you have that all figured out and set up, you can do save, okay, and then import database. And then this is just decompressing the game and bringing it into the software, I believe, and then you can just chill. Okay, so finally the database has been imported. Took a minute. I think it literally took like 3 minutes. So just press OK. Okay, so after everything's been imported, all these other tabs here should be lit up. I had to cut the video real quick. I was like getting confused on how to do this actually myself. So then you want to go to the Import Export tab, and this should be set to your save by default. If you go to click Load Items from Directory, it won't load anything if it's just set to save. So you want to go into Set Import Directory and select the main folder. And then you can do Load Items from dir. And what that does is it brings every item from your save file into GD stash, so you can start actually looking at what you have. So now everything that's on my account basically that I just showed you earlier with all the mules on it is now on this list. Everything I own. So now you can do select all, and after you select all, you want to do import items. And that'll bring everything, so 557 items stored in stash. Okay. So that'll bring everything into the collection area. And this is really the bread and butter of how to keep track of the items that you have. And if you want to just figure out, for Grailing at least, you do all items, uncheck augments and components. We don't care about that, but we do care about every physical item you can equip. Then you would select Epic and Legendary, and of course my green screen's in the way, so let's just do this real quick so you can see what I'm doing. And then over here, min level 82, and then you would do search. I think I broke it. I think the software hates my computer. Oh, it looks like I decided to make it bigger. Okay, so then it gives you a little checklist. And yeah, you can sort it by which one you have it on. The reason I actually broke out my softcore characters was because, see how it says softcore over here and hardcore? If I had it on softcore and I didn't have it on hardcore, this would still show up as green. It was really annoying me. So that's why I actually broke out my hardcore stuff and my Grail stuff separate, just because of that. So yeah, these are all the items I have. Now in the bottom left, it'll actually tell you how many items you have. So I have 279 out of 1,337. So I have 20% of all the items that fit that criteria. And that's how I'm going to go ahead and track this. There's a couple questions that came up. One of them was, do you have to craft all the conduit neck pieces? And the answer is yes. You have to craft at least one base conduit to fill this to fulfill the checklist. And head pieces, same thing. I'm going to craft one of every head piece, even for the illusion. Why not? But that's pretty much it. So that's how you kind of keep track of it. Now, let's say, for example, if you use Item Assistant, and you've been kind of waiting around the whole video, let's say you use Item Assistant and you want to do something similar. You can actually come back here. I'm not going to bring it in. I'm not going to bring the database in. I actually probably could. Let me do that real quick. So if you use Item Assistant, let's open up Item Assistant. So GDIA has, or Grimdon Item Assistant has an option under Settings to import and export. What that allows you to do is you can export an IAS file, which is basically just a file that has a list of everything you have in here, to just a document. So then you can go ahead and store it on your. We'll just store it on the desktop for now. Just make sure I don't have any porn over here. No, it's just drives, and just say like whatever you want. You can call it whatever you want. Cox Internet sucks Cox, and then you could save that there. So that saves that as an IAS file. And then instead of loading items from directory, which brings it from your save file, you can import from. Oop, it's freaking out again. I have to restart this. And then instead of importing from your save file, you can load item assistant file, and that'll actually ask you where you want that IAS file at, which is on my desktop. And we got Cox Internet sucks Cox.ias. Open. Give it a minute. I actually didn't want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway now. It's going to take a little bit longer, huh? Now we have everything in Item Assistant, which I don't even know what I have in my Item Assistant anymore. But then you can load that into, you can do import items there. And then you can actually look at the Grail stuff now. You have a lot of items. Okay. And then go back to collection. See, this is going to be a bunch of softcore stuff, and that's why I didn't want to do it. Aha, there we go. See, now this is why I didn't want to. This is why I kept my hardcore stuff separate than my softcore, because this thing shows up as green even though I have it on softcore, but whatever. But yeah, you can see on softcore I have, that's not even right, 568 out of 1,337. That doesn't sound right to me. Maybe it is. I think I had way more than that. I think my IAS file was, I think Item Assistant was reset at some point. But so yeah, if you're interested in grailing in this game, that's the best way I know of to keep track of it. And like I said, there are probably more items that are going to get added to the list later on, like the novelty stuff. And then there's more patches coming out later this year where there's already confirmed that they're going to add more items to the game. So there's that. And then there's also lower level items, but that is probably a little bit out of the question just because of how things drop based on zone level and stuff like that in the game. So that's how and what I'll be doing periodically during my live streams, and people have been asking me what Grail is, and I just wanted to be able to refer to something, and I'm hoping that this video can do that. And make sure you check out Twitch. I'm probably, I'll be streaming a lot right now. I have no life, which is crazy. And check out my Twitch channel, and I'll be over there grailing a lot, so come hang out.